what do we expect to see from the Bravo team in the south? Probably not Leon hiding. Are they going to move up to the island to the north, or will they move east like they did before?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I think we're good to go. All right, OSC's ready. Is Sky Cancer? All right, we're good to go. Let's go. All right, third place round. We are playing for premium time. Ooh. A prize is a prize.
Yep. Okay, let's see.
So as usual, we'll head over to our colleague destroyer, torp each other off, and proceed into the cast. I'm expecting probably a fighter push first from Sky Cancer. We'll see if they do a spotting dive bomber first, but usually what will happen is we'll have a sort of fighter line, whether it's a wide fighter line taking up the whole map or a very concentrated one on over 3 tiles. We'll see. Okay, we've got fighter launches first from all the carriers. They're going to go create a fighter screen, and then they'll do any form of dive bombing or scouting or that type of stuff.
Yeah, they're going towards the islands.
Interesting, because the Sky Cancer team, they're heading south.
Oh, okay.
Why did you reverse? Well, my guy reversed, so I'm going to have to gunfire him down.
Okay.
Thankfully, torps launched really quickly. Okay, so fighter line is up. We see that, wow, actually Sky Cancer's far more aggressive, pushing right up to the cap point. Any closer and they're going to hit, you know, by strafing into the fighters, you move into the AA bubble of the enemy ships. That's why there's like there's a safe zone that you want to kind of control, where you, when you strafe in, you don't get too close to enemy AA. Wow, so there's a counter strafe by Hiryu from Old Screw, who gets wrecked by the Saipan fighter. So they're already down a wave. They're also down actually 2 waves because there's a second fighter chasing a dive bomber way off on the western flank. So Saipan grabs the Hiryu's fire, who exit strafes. He's been reverse strafed though, so now they're down 2 fighters on this side and a third one over there. So they're down to 3 fighters playing defensive, and there's 6 fighters on the front line. You know what? If the bombers catch up, they could probably brute force this and go for a drop on somebody. They've got this localized air control. Yes, they'll lose a lot of fighters, but the Saipan from Crow Power, he's isolated in the back. You know, by losing 2 waves, they could dive. You know, they've got their 4 torpedo bombers, 6 torpedo bomber waves. Oh, they're not going to though. They're backing off. They've got a perfect opportunity here with the fire waves. Yeah, they're down 3 fighter waves, 1 in the wrong position and 2 of them only playing defense. They could have done that. Oh well.
You can see all the ships from here.
I guess they just felt like they didn't need to dive. You know, they got their small advantage, they got their fighter thing. Maybe they'll rotate and they'll recycle their planes. Maybe they were afraid of some bombers coming around the flank and didn't want to send in everything. I can appreciate that, but sometimes you just want to see risks being taken, you know? Well, they're pushing away the scout. I'm guessing you can't see the carriers, can you?
No.
Okay. You can see the Leon though, yes? Can you see the Leon?
No, nothing.
Okay. Oh, he's just fired now, but yeah.
Leon now is lined up.
Okay, so now the fighters for the Sky Cancer, they're a bit disorganized, and they're regrouping now in the center, but it's 5-on-3, kind of. Yeah, but they're not actually going in for an engagement just at the moment. Alright, so we got a new line forming, spreading out. See the Hiryu's possibly pushing into the North Island. The carriers are moving way off to the east, and the Leon is moving into the central large blocking island in Foxtrot 6, which is this one here. And probably doing kind of the same thing, getting close, using his AA bubble of like 7.2 to threaten, and then maybe pushing up to the cap if the enemy battleship leaves and moves out of the way. Counter-strafe. Saipan dives in on the Hiryu. Hiryu's down to 3, but look, that Saipan fire is inside the Leon's A bubble. So what he should do is he should exit. Alright, so he's tagged, he should exit strafe. He should. Oh, he's going even deeper into the Leon. Oh, wow. Okay, so now the Leon's AA is definitely. Now the mid-range AA is going to be on him. He loses a plane and he counter strafe for the Saipan. So that was pretty painful there from the old school crew CV. And. Oh! The Hiryu just strafed the entire wave of his friendly Saipan's fighter plane, expecting perhaps the break-off that didn't happen. Then he gets countered by another Saipan, so he loses 2 of his planes. Then there's a Saipan strafe that kills 2 of his friendlies, but it kills off the enemy fighter wave. And now they've got 2 Saipans on 1 Hiryu, and you've got a big block of... Okay, so the Hiryu just beats the other Hiryu wave. There's a huge fighter advantage right now. Wow, the Leon just killed the Hiryu! How did that happen? Huh! He just...
I didn't even notice that.
I just saw that in the kill spam. I was watching the fire so closely. I tell you what, the Leon must have got a full broadside on this. All the carriers were pushing in, and they were broadside. They're trying to get behind the island, but they're broadside. So while all of this fire is going on, the Leon's AA is wrecking anything that goes after him. There's a huge fighter advantage right now for Sky Cancer. They can get an unmolested drop because they just killed off all the fighter planes. And it looks like Old School is being outclassed by Sky Cancer's air control right now. They're just their group fighter control. They'll get 2 torps on the Nick Hiryu. That may or may not cause flooding, but the fact is, the enemy team, Old School's down 2 fire waves. So the Sky Cancer just needs to recycle their fire waves out, have 6 against 4, and they can fly in and bully the remaining ships. And now that the battleship, the Gneisenau, is almost round the corner, the Leon can push up into the cap and start stalling additional points that way. I don't see how Old Screw can come back into this now. They've had, both times, they've had, oh, AP Salvo possibly going for the Saipan. Saipan's broadside is too far away. Oof. Okay, so some overpens, takes a third of his health, maybe a little bit more than that. Makes him vulnerable to bombing as well. Let's see, we got 4 torpedo bomber waves, some dive bombers, possibly some of those dive bombers are scouts, and the fighters are beginning to regroup now and take off, or actually they're cycling around, yeah, so the Saipan's fighters are possibly landing or taking off. We see Conflicts' fighters taking off. Oh, apparently Sexy Crow took a massive hit from... Yeah, Rainbow's to Leon. Yeah, I was just reading chat, a little bit delayed here. So... it kind of slows down. I guess if you're Sky Cancer, you don't need to be overly aggressive because you've got such an advantage. You know the enemy team has to play into you. It's going to take... Well, even gets a fire in the nice now. It's going to take the Old Screw team to move around the island into the cap. But the fact is...
No, I think they just stop behind the island.
Yeah, and the thing is, I'm just trying to figure out how does Old School come back and win this? And there's so many planes in the skies right now for Sky Cancer. I don't see Old School crew mounting a successful strike. The only one that's vulnerable is Absolute Justice, who's just under half health. Maybe Commander Cornflakes. If they could theoretically drop either of those, but they have more fire control. They have more planes, so I don't see how they're going to pull this one off.
Hints, there's a torpedo bombs really south and try to go.
They've
But
just been spotted.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bombers have seen them, and we see that a Hear You fighter plane wave is coming over to intercept it. And the bombers are turning around and running away because I think they know they've been spotted. And the game is just kind of slowing it down now. With 11 minutes to go, I guess Sky Cancer's like, yeah, that's fine, we got the lead. We don't need to push. We'll wait this out. And if anything, if you want to fight or duel us, we'll beat you. Because look, there's a double Hear You on Saipan and Saipan on Saipan fighter duel in the center. But now there's another Hear You on exit strafe. Well, that could be a really powerful exit strafe. No, they're out the way. And there's a reverse strafe on top of the Saipan fighter, which clips at least one of his waves. And the, oh my goodness, the Hear You kills the other fighter wave over there. So they're just bullying the planes. And once they run out of fighters, they're just going to be easy kills. He tries to exit straight for the Saipan, down to 2 planes. But that's what, there's 4 fighter waves on 1 fighter. And he's in Leon, or the Hear You's A bubble. That's the one's gone. So there's 1 Hear You fighter wave left up for Old School Crew. And he can just get bullied by all the enemy fighters. And even have a fire plane to spare to chase down the enemy torpedo bombers from the Hear You, belonging to Nick. And he's just click engaging. Oh, he's looking to strafe. That's why he's turning around. Yep, so that's a good juke. He saw the strafe incoming and he jukes and he turns around. But like, all these bombers can now move in uncontested. It's just going to take too long for the fighters to take off. So Nicenau takes off the catapult fighter. There's 1 fighter down in the south that's got any strength. You know what? I'm really surprised that Sky Cancer isn't taking this advantage and finishing off a CV. Okay, they are now. I guess they're kind of regrouping. Maybe they're going to go after the Saipan. That seems to be the most vulnerable. But the Saipan's able to get a fire up now. The extra 10 seconds of delay means that there's a difference between the fire. Like, it's going to strafe now. That fire's going to get all these bombers, I think. Side on dive bomb. He misses! Oh, wow. He misses with the fire, and the second wave is now up. And that window of opportunity to strike the Saipan's gone. Old School Crew realizes what they have to do. They have to push into the enemy cap. They have no other choice to gain points, to catch up. AP shots from the Nicenau on Cornflakes gets him down to under half health. The problem now is that I don't know how many fire planes Nick has got left. Crow Power probably has 1 or 2 Saipan waves of fighters left over. They need to play conservative. They need to play smart and positional. It's a good strafe. Kills off a couple of Hear You fighters. That's good. Kills off the whole wave, even better. This engagement here isn't the greatest either because he exit strafes because he realizes an extra fire coming. But the Saipan chases straight after him. Is he going to strafe him from behind? Yep. So exit strafe gets caught and punished. And that's the problem with exit strafing. The guy can chase after you. And it's merciless. So I'd rather see Old School doing scouting of the enemy ships with maybe their fast dive bombers that maybe Nick could do, and then playing defensive fighter over their own ships. So the man, the Hear You, the Saipan trying to get a drop in on the Hear You, gets strafed down to 1 plane, isn't even to get past the island to then get the drop on him. And even then, if it's a flooding, there's no follow up at secondary fire source. So,
Oh. Nicenau, I think it's in danger now. Okay, just 1. They're trying to protect the Nicenau. It's going to be hard. Okay, 2 more. Okay. But we lost all the signs. We can't see anything from this side.
Right, well, yeah, Saipan, Crow Power, he's down to a fraction health. He's been shot at by Leon. He's vulnerable. He's detected. Nick's quite far behind because he bumped into the island, taking a while to move up. The Balk is going to move into the cap. He's going to threaten it, but I just don't know how many fire planes are left over for Old School Crew here. And there's another volley of HE coming in on the Saipan. And the thing is, once the fighter planes have been dealt with, oh wow, Leon, massive HE slam on the Saipan, gets rid of him. And then that's even fewer because the Saipan was the only ship that actually had fire planes left over that were valuable. Yeah, so the Hear You strafes.
No fighters left.
Yeah, the Hiryu doesn't have as many reserves in terms of full waves, so there's so many fighter planes left over. This is game, and we knew this was probably game anyway. Old School Crew going for the play that might get them back into it, but that's not it. Mbao's going to die off here, and Sky Cancer's going to take a 1-0 lead.
I think that's it for this game.
Yep. I was just waiting for this to end. Yes, here we go. So I'll update the UI here to reflect Sky Cancer is 1-0 up over Old School. We will now swap positions on the map and see what happens. What can Old School Crew do differently? It doesn't feel as if their fire control's just quite on par with Certified Sky Cancer. Like, what would you do in this situation? Play more defensive? Go for the base cap instead, or what?
I would say I would go for the base cap directly after we lost. If we lose a ship.
But no, so I'm saying not losing ship. If you think the enemy team has got better air control, you don't fly in the open, you don't fight or duel in the open, do you? You maybe play more defensive and you try and push your ship around the island into the enemy base as quickly as possible?
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Or do you play defensive and you just try and wait for them to play on?
I would still push, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because if you know you're at a slight disadvantage, what do you do in that scenario? And it feels like Old School's at a slight disadvantage here. We'll see how it goes. And their Leon is doing a lot of good work. He's catching them like good angles, and he's getting a lot of damage in. All right, where's my... There he is. Let's check. Well, because no, the thing is, Sky Cancer last time round when they lost this game, but that it's kind of unfortunate. Their Leon used the island in their base to great effect. You know, preventing him from being attacked. Because he used the central island here, he can't be attacked from that direction. The fire line can be there, and all 3 CVs can be north of that kind of large island group, and that works really well for them.
I think they really use Leon really well to hide behind the island to give the AA support for the CVs, and then it also has a really good fire window to take as much damage as possible. So I mean, they really practice well and know how to use Leon.
And the thing is, if they play defensive and defend the base, I'm not entirely sure how Old School Crew is supposed to push the base.
But I think they are not really planning to push, because during last game when they already took down one hero, I was thinking can push already to the base, but they didn't. They wait until the old school come down, then they start push. So I would say they can already pushed earlier. Yeah, and actually the island there is to the base, so I would think it's easier for them to.
Well, they're going north. Both teams are actually thinking about going north at the moment. The Hiryu from Croat is way ahead of his battleship. Now, we've seen him do that before. Is this potential misplay? Can it? Because he could be, if they have a bad engagement with the fighter planes, it's possible that he can be dove upon, you know, because he doesn't have friendly AA helping him out. They've got some scouting lines that we see. Wow, that's actually a very impressive line of 6 of all the fighters protecting in line on top of their caps. So they're playing within their own AA, making it much more awkward for Certified Sky Cancer to move up and, you know, dive in on top of their planes. Because if they dive in, they're on top of enemy ships, the AA bubbles. I guess they're getting ready. They're prepping their bombers. They've got their fighters in position. They're having a look at what's going on. Don't really feel that old school crew, unless they're like really confident, they don't need to fighter duel, which is what they're doing. So they've got engagement. They're click engagement on the capture point. I guess the fighters are rallying. Saipans from the certified is moving over there. Hiryu's over here. So exit strafe onto the Saipan, who sees it coming and he jukes around, and then he reverses on him. He does. He loses a plane. If he exit strafes, he'll lose a plane from the exit strafe, so that's dangerous. Now, this guy, is he strafing? He is, but he then TKs his own planes? Oh, so awkward! Oh, man. I'd see...
When there are so many fighters.
Oh, but there's a good Hiryu strafe, kills one. No, that's just a clip-in. Now there's another Hiryu fighter. He's clipped onto that guy. The problem is they're down 1 or 2 waves, and that it just snowballs. Now, so the Hiryu exits. The Saipan might be able to exit strafe chase him. Yeah, and then that one here, use exit strafing is down to 1. Yeah, and the strafe collapses him. He's also on 1. The bombers are rushing in, but the fact is, one here, because they won the fire engagement, is pushing in. The Leon's turning around to get his mid-range AA on point. Maybe the Saipan, it has to be a head-on drop. No, they're turning. He's indecisive. He's turning around. He's trying to run away. What? No! When you're that close, you just drop. Unless he dropped... Did that hear you drop from max range, or did he run away? He did drop from max range. Oh, but he's missed. He missed. Okay. And Sky Cancer, again, takes another advantage now. So now, Saipan catches the enemy Saipan's torpedo bombers. Oof. That was painful. Loses all 5, and 1 left over escapes. But if you're Sky Cancer, now you recycle your wounded fire planes, get fresh ammo, fill up the waves, and then ready to duel again. It's, you know, it's... you know, and then you've got the advantage in about X number of planes. You have to still win the air battle 2 or 3 more times, but you bleed the enemy dry that way. Another fighter duel. I'm not sure if... Okay, so the Saipan exit strafes, but he'll just be follow exit strafed. Oh! No! You don't learn what's that. If it happens again, exit strafing is dangerous because the guy clicks to follow and then he strafes behind you and kills off your plane. So if you're going to engage, only exit strafe into enemy planes or into friendly AA. Exit strafing just makes him follow you and kill your planes off. Oh man, oof. That's another wave now they're down when they should have had an advantage because there was only 2 plane waves in the center at that time.
I think now is a chance for old school to attack now. Or I don't see any fighters in the sky.
I see 3 fighters for old school, and for the Certified Sky Cancer, and they've got 1 Saipan, 2. No, they got 3 fighters in the air. Yeah, you could. Actually, you could. They're cycling. Yeah. The opportunity is now gone because the Absolute Justice is here. He's taken off, and there's more in the back line now, so they can play defensive. But yeah, if they had attacked maybe say 15 seconds ago, or let's say those 2 that duel with that exit strafe, had they attacked at that point, yeah, but you don't have full information. You don't know what the enemy's doing or where they are or how they are, so you can't tell when the perfect time to attack is.
But they are like just like going to the north. They are back now.
I wonder if the ship positioning is a problem here for Old School, because Old School is pushing along the island chain to get close.
Yeah.
But the Saipan from Crow Power, I reckon, is too far away from the island. If he is closer to the island, he can't be hit. You know, he's just too far off. And if he's closer to the island, he can't be attacked from both sides either. So the carrier should really be hugging the island, but hold that thought. That's 6 torpedo bombers coming down the center.
Hyrule is behind the island, middle.
Commander Cornflakes? Well, they know where the battleship is. They know where the Gneisenau is, right? So push hardcore into their base, because that would force them to turn around. If you get into the enemy base before they get into yours, you're stopped. Plus, the Leon is defending your base, so yeah, go for it. And you know that the Gneisenau is pushing the head. He can't turn around quickly, so he'll have to fight the enemy Leon, and you will force the Old School crew to attack Commander Cornflakes if he makes it into, you know, your base, because you have to do something to reset him. Oh wow, and the Leon is getting some really good kind of hits on the carriers here, who are getting closer, but the Gneisenau isn't able to respond in kind. He can't fire over these islands with his shell arc. Duel wise, okay, so it's a tight AA group. They've got fighter line around them. They're watching what's happening. They can see what Commander Cornflakes is doing. They see the double Saipan fighters in the north going after their bombers. They've only got a single Hiryu fighter to deal with it at the moment, because everything's on the south. They're at the point where they can't honestly afford to lose any more fighter waves, because then they'll be down on total planes. They won't be able to fill them out anymore. Okay, they've got 2 Hiryu fighters trying to fight the Saipan ones. Saipan's on 1.5 waves, so I mean they should win this. But he's just got the Saipan smart, they're just going to run away. Do they still push around the corner? So the Leon's running away, and he's just continuing to do that sort of annoying over the hill HE spam. Just misses.
Okay, I think Harry's...
Commander Cornflakes is almost in the cap, yeah. And it means that all fighters can just basically park on top of Commander Cornflakes, and you have to push in an attack. You have to send your bombers at him, right? Croat's kind of beached himself, so he's kind of awkward, he can't move. I suppose the Gneisenau could go round the corner and shoot at Cornflakes. He could go into the enemy cap and shoot at Cornflakes with his main guns.
That's where Gneisenau is going right now, yeah.
But he's crawling, he's stopped.
Yeah, he stopped.
Why? I don't understand.
Slowly.
Are they waiting to group up or something? Ooh, check all the bombers going after Cornflakes. That's a big dive. All the fighter planes are there. They were waiting for their opportunity. This is it. Oh, you know what? The fire planes and the Saipan are too far behind. Cornflakes is killing his speed off, but I think he's dead. You got a second set of Hiryu bombers. Oh, I think that's too much.
I think that's it for
so there's one more Saipan set of torpedoes. He needs to get the drop off. Oh, the Saipan. Hiryu's from the Saipan on the other side. That's it. He's gone. Yeah, so they're getting the killing blow. Wow, that's too aggressive by Certified Sky Council, thinking they've got it, but realizing that the Saipan fighters are in the wrong place, grouping all their fighters up and their bombers, and then just diving in on the isolated carrier, killing him off, reducing the strength of the Sky Cancers, you know, air group and cover and all that type of stuff. And for all that good fighter work that Certified Sky Cancer was doing, that doesn't mean anything now. They've lost the carrier. So now what happens? The 3 CVs are nestled right up to the island, so they're well protected. It means that enemy bombers have to go over the island or around the flanks and attack them from behind. It means their fighters can regroup on the line, and the battleship Gneisenau, he technically doesn't need to threaten, because these carriers can just re-attack anything that goes into the cap, so the enemy team has to move as a team. The Gneisenau is the only thing that could be punished here with possibly a double fire from the Leon right there. I guess the Gneisenau reverses and then just hides in the corner, and then just they all use their collective AA and wait. Croat's in a problem here because he's kind of beached himself, he's reversing, so he's actually quite far separated in the south. I'm not sure how good that AP is on an angled Leon. Some damage, but the Leon's HE is monstrous. Yeah. So Balcony's now uses his damage control party, puts the fires out. Saipan and Hiryu, you know what? Yeah, they're probably too close to the islands that they can't be dropped, so they're pretty safe. Croat needs to move forward, which he is now beginning to do, and join the rest of the team. So positionally wise, Old School's in a good spot. However, Sky Cancer has grouped up. They've got themselves together. They've got their bombers ready. They've got their fighter planes ready. They could do a dive themselves, but it's not an easy drop, is it? Because I don't know how well you can see. You're on the Old School team. You can see how close the carriers are. They can't be dropped from the carrier side. They have to be dropped, from the northwestern flank.
I think they are gathering all the attack flights and want to try another round to just take another.
Oh yeah, they're going for. They have to push the cap again. So Justice is pushing into the cap. The Nice now is pushing into the Certified Sky Cancer's cap. Oh man, the HE damage he's taken from Leon is massive though. Yeah. Still, it's kind of lined up. Fires are looking at each other. The Old School sees that Justice is pushing into the capture point. He's going to threaten it. The points still favour Old School. The Nice now is going to maybe push into the cap, or is he watching the islands? The issue is if the Nice now pushes too far away from the other carriers. Oh wait, no. The Nice now is pushing so he can get a gunshot on Justice. That's what it is.
Oops.
Doesn't quite clip him, but he has got gunshots on him now. I guess he doesn't want to really move. Here comes another bombing wave strike. There's a lot of fighters protecting Justice, but that's all 4 fighters.
Yeah.
Are they going to strafe those torpedo bombers? Those Hiryu torpedo bombers. Watch out, watch out. Jukes them. Turns out of the way. Other fighters are not quite there. They're going to exit strafe. Dive bombers, torpedo bombers. He's going to expect another strafe. Oh, the strafe gets the torpedo bombers from behind. Here comes the Saipan fighters strafing into the... Oh no, the Saipan torpedo bombers get off. Long range-ish. Oh, but they're bad aims. They're bad aims. Justice turns. He takes more dive bomber damage. He's taken Gneisenau damage. He's forced out. The Leon responds in counter the Gneisenau. Justice survives, but he's broadside to the Gneisenau, but it's still pretty some distance. What I want to know is how many fighter planes does Old School have, because they dived in there and they did a lot of work. And they still have some fighter planes in the south, which we can see on the capture point.
Okay, let's see.
How good is Balk's aim in these Gneisenau? Absolute Justice is dead in the war.
Wow.
Getting low, good Citadel would finish him. Balk is also entering the enemy cap. Can he be counterattacked? Now here's the other thing. We've got Saipan torpedo bombers from Captain Yamamoto possibly threatening him, but there is a Hiryu fighter there protecting him. Balk continuing to fire. Oh, Justice is reversing. He's dead in the war almost, and he's reversing at slow speed. Oh, he's getting really lucky. Now admittedly this is like 17-18 kilometer shots. So this is difficult for the Gneisenau, and the Gneisenau is taking full HE span from the on. We'll see. Another salvo. He's a little bit angry on Absolute Justice. Oh, he's chipping him down. The Leon's not going to kill the Gneisenau before Justice dies, and Justice has been spotted by this dive bomber in the south. There's a tier 7 here, you dive bomb in the south, keeping Justice lit up.
And a bunch of fighters is going.
Thing is, yeah, so they've lost 2 Saipan. Now this Saipan fighter should exit and leave. Ooh, but the carriers are moving up. Now here's the issue. Is the base cap going to go through first? Because Balk is still hitting the Absolute Justice, but check the sheer volume of bombers that are coming after Yamamoto right now. So there's a single Hiryu fighter on the Saipan fighter. The other fighters are rallying over to stop him, but the Saipan torpedo bombers are going to get an unmolested drop. AA clips 2. The second wave is looking to drive. Here comes the strafe. Does he juke? I think he just clicks him instead. Is that 1 or 2 torps? One Torp connects for the first wave. He exit strafes this. Oh, that's a huge strafe. Kills 7 planes. So 2 more torpedo bombers hits Yamato. They've reset the cap progress. Incoming the dive bomb, but it's not a kill. The Balk is critically wounded.
But Gnesano is almost.
Yeah, he's almost dead. But Justice has still managed to escape. Leon's probably going to finish off Balk with some shots here, or any form of attack from the remaining carriers of Sky Cancer might also finish him off. Here comes another. Oh, Balk goes down. Here comes his last AP salvo. Can he finish Justice off? Oh!
Oh!
How much health has he got? How much health has Justice got?
500.
So brutal! Sky Cancer is now in the lead, but Old School Crew, no, they're not got the cap advantage either. So
There's another one behind Justice.
So there's 4 fighters in the air. They're all various amounts of planes. Are there any bombers left for Old School? It was very, very bloody early on. And they have enough fighters. Can they capture this? Is killing Justice enough? Probably not, because he's taking hits, which means he doesn't have capture points. The capture points are with the Leon or the Saipan. Okay, so there are some 2 Saipan torpedo bombers here from Old School. It's getting pretty critical. But the fighters are coming back to play defense. So it's the 2 Hiryu fighters are playing defense 1 and 3. So we've got the Saipan and Hiryu Fire playing, ganking off the one enemy Saipan who now exit strafes to run away. There's no choice. He has to move his torpedo bombers in. He has to kill Justice to get points, because and then maybe get a reset. And then they've only got 1 diver. I think they're out of bombers. But the cap is quick. They need to get a reset. If they can get a reset, they may win on base cap. But there's not enough time. Look at it. There's not enough time. They'd need to hit the Leon, or they'd need to hit the Saipan. The Hiryu is... Well, the Hiryu might be enough, but no, we're at 1,000 points.
No.
And Sky Cancer wins 2-0. Man, that was so close! Oh, dear me. Okay, we're going to go into our finals now. So check the final scores there. 81 planes for Yamato and his Saipan. 81! 40 on the Hiryu, 28 on the Leon, 19 on the Hiryu for Sky Cancer, and on Old School, 32 Saipan, 29 Knives now, 26 Hiryu, 12 on the other Hiryu. Wow, that's
81 is the highest score, highest one.
On the term that we've seen in our games that we've covered, yeah.
Oh.
Right, let me update my